Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today we're working on the legit kits and I'm at block F6. So let's hop in and we'll sew this baby together. I've just finished up all of the piecing of it. So now I'm going to lay the block out according to the assembly guide. This is going to give you your step-by-step instructions on exactly where you're going to sew along the way. So I'll move this out of the way and I'll lay it out the way that it needs to be done. So right now I'm going to do the B section here, and the way that they show it's really cool the way that the layout. I'm going to do it like this, that way I have my work zone over here and I won't be messing with my blocks too much. And G is going to go in this corner, and you just follow your assembly guide the way that it's telling you to go. And there and there. Right now it looks like the block is kind of like really ginormous, but the instructions is telling me I'm going to join A and B first, and then we're going to come over and we're going to join the next section. So let me slip in because I'm going to follow their assembly guide step for step and show you every step of the way. So let's get sewing. So right here is where my junction is, and I want to make sure that all of these line up. So I'm going to give it a little pinch here, and I'm going to stick a pin in it because I want to make sure that comes out where it's supposed to. I'm going to come down to this end, and I'm going to line up and make sure everything's in. Hold on. I want to get this paper over. The weight of the table bumped me a bit. I'll get the pin in. Pop this one up and get the pin in here. Back it up just a little. That way everything's lined up on one end. And then slide it. And that's in there. And then I'm going to stick a pin in down here as well. And then we'll get the intersection. I'll get a pin right where that baby needs to nest in. And it lays quite flat, so I know I'm in. I'm going to pop the first pin out, and we're going to back tack it in. Slow and steady with this, and make sure that your front and your back has the seam allowance lined up. You don't want to get halfway through the block and realize they're not lined up. You're going to have a little bit of a bump here, and that's okay. You'll hear it thump. And just keep going down through. Pull your pins as you're coming to them. And snip. I have this little piece here. I'll just snip it off. And we're going to open it up, and you'll be able to see how that lined up before you ever tear your paper off here. Fold it down and repeat the same process. You'll see me building a lot of the blocks like this throughout the videos, and then you'll see some of the blocks where I've worked the block in its entirety from the pulling from the files and matching the colors. That way you're getting a whole variation of different ways in the process of building the quilt out. So you're just going to finger press and open these seams. We're going to give it a little bit of heat love there. And then the second section where the collar is, right there, you'll have a little bit of bulk, and that's okay. You're just going to give it a little bit of heat love. Hit it with the Acorn Pin if you choose to use them. It's not a requirement with these patterns at all. It's just something that I choose to do for mine. Flip it over, and you're going to see where that lined up perfect. Then we're going to flip this back over, and then we're going to see what the next section is. We're going to go D to E. So I'm going to take this one and marry it to this one. And you've got some lining up to do here, so you're going to make sure that you're using your pins. Stick your pin through. Make sure it's going through the fabric as well, not just the paper. And line it up. Then you're going to come over and do the same thing at the other side. These are the couple little pieces that you do have in your quilt. And it's really important that you get all these lined up. Otherwise there'll be a skew and you don't want that. So that did line up. And this is a small piece, so I'm not going to stick a pin in there. If I go slow and steady, I should be able to catch that really easy. Back tack it in, because I'm pretty sure that one's lined up. Pop the pin. And we've got it. I'll open it up and make sure, and as you can see, it lined up at every junction like it's supposed to, right here, at the brown, at the gray, and up here in the top. If you want your card to have all those intricate details that Mike's laid out, you want a pin. I want my card to look like it's off the showroom floor, not like it's been in an accident somewhere. So just give your paper just a little tug. Finger press it down. And the orders are now open. You can go ahead and order these. The test phase is over now. And hop in and finish this journey out with me. So I'll turn this back over now and I'll see what the next section is. I did not acorn pin that. Okay, so the next piece is going to be where I'm taking this section and joining this one. And you do have that section here you need to line up as well. So you're going to stick your pin in it and make sure your corners come together. And they did. Come over on the next little bit and stick a pin in there. And that one lined up. Bring it over under your needle. And you're going to repeat this every step of this block. Snip all your threads, that way they won't be in your way at all. Pull your papers. Get as much of that paper out of there as you can. It'll save you a lot of picking in the end. If you have eyebrow tweezers or some form of a tweezer, you can use them. I have nails and I can pretty well get them all lined up. And as you can see, this lined up here exactly the way that Mike made this pattern. Press it down. Give it the heat. Acorn pin it out. And flat. Press it over. And just double check yourself, because I like to do that. The next thing we're going to do here is, according to the pattern, we're going to join these two sections together. So you flip it over, and you're just going to go to your next junction, and that's going to be at the bottom. And you're going to stick a pin in it. And you're going to find your next corner, and just bounce it back just a tiny tad. Wiggle it in and stick a pin in it. Do the same thing on this end. Make sure you're staying true to your 1/4 inch here when you're pinning, because you don't want your papers to shift. If you've got them all lined up, you should be able to go straight through just like I just did and pin it. Find your junction here, and we've got one right there. And just to ensure that I get that, I'm sticking a pin in it. And I believe that's the only one. Drop your needle and begin back tack it in here just a smidge. Stay on your black line. and continue. You got that little bump, so you're going to have to give it a little bit of gas. Back tack it in just a smidge and pop it out. Finger press really good, and you can use your nails to press that back. Like I said, just use whatever means, if you need tweezers or whatever. And we're going to pop all of this paper as much as we can get out. We're going to open it up, and you're going to see that seam lines up as well. So tug your paper just a little, and then, so we're finger pressing right here, and we're going to press this little seam and press it down. And just keep going all the way along the seam, and then give the heat love. You'll hear me say that every step of the way on this project, and I do it on all of my projects. And right here you've got that nest where you're going to have a little bit of gathering, but that's okay. That's where you've joined a lot of parts. Flip it over, give it a little bit of heat love. And as you can see, everything is lined up exactly the way it's required. Now we're down to this section, and we're going to join C to all of this. And as you can see, we're going to have junctions right here all the way along. So I'm going to be doing quite a bit of pinning. So we're going to line up here, slip my finger under, and we're going to get pin crazy for a second. Start on this side, and then we're going to get going on to this one. Yep, got it in. Line it up. Wiggle your needle just a little bit, and then your pin's in. Do the same on the other end. Take your pin into your corner, into this corner as well, and you're in. Now here's where you have all these sections that have to meet up. So what I'm going to do is wiggle, and I'm going to pin it, because I really want everything to line up nice. There's quite a bit of bulk there from where everything comes to a meeting place. So you're going to hear that when you drop your needle and you're sewing. Make sure your 1/4 of an inch is lined up right there as well with all of your paper. Don't forget, you don't want to sew over your needles, so pull them out right before you get to them. Got this little tidbit here, snip it off, snip my thread off here. That way it's there and out of the way. Finger press, pull this out. And we're going to work this up. Press it out. Before you ever do anything, everything lines up exactly as it's supposed to. Always like to double check, because right now would be the time to pop that seam if you need to. And just work your magic. Finger press. Pop it open. Back in. And do this all the way along the way. Acorn pin. And give it a little bit of heat, love. A little piece should have laid flatter. So everything's lined up. Going to flip it over. Now per the directions, I'm going to join these two. You're going to look at both sides as you're bringing them in. You're going to see a lot of little parts that you're going to need to mix and hit all those little lines. So I'm going to pin a few different places here, but the end result is well worth it. Wiggle it in and pin. Start at your other end, that way all of your fabric's lined up And you're going to be able to hit your markings so much easier. If you have both end pieces lined up exactly where the directions say, everything else should come in just right for you. And then you're going to do the same thing right here. Make sure that you're at your 1/4 of an inch. Manipulate that just a little bit and pin. It's quite flat. All my junctions are met. So I'm going to join in and go slow. I find FPP very relaxing and challenging all at once. I love the end result as a block comes together. You can see all of your labors of love and how good everything looks if you're just taking your time. Open it up. Everything lines up here, here, and here. So I'll pop my paper. We'll press this out and I'll show you the row in its entirety. Flip this over. I've got some paper down in this where I should have went ahead and pulled that back when I joined this piece. There it is. Flip it over. That's all out. Finger press it. And then you're just going to do the seam just the same as all the others. And just keep going up slow and steady. Here's where you have all of these little veins per se, or vines or whatever. There's a lot of bulk right there. Just press it flat. Your long armor will thank you. And this wee little tiny piece right here. The attention to detail now is going to make the difference in your end result. Press it out. I'll check the block real quick. We'll brush it off. Make sure I've got all the strings off. Because when you have that many little pieces coming together, you don't want strings all over. There we go. Now, does that not look sharp? I'm telling you. To me, it looks fabulous. So let me see the order we're going to do these. Okay, this is your A. Look at all the sharp edges. Everything came together really nice. That's your B. See? And I'm just going to slide them all in here for you. I love the way all the sharp attention to detail is. I just picked up all that lint. Go figure. So that's all of my F row. So I'll see you back in the next video. And we're not very far from the finish line. And then the next few that you'll see is a couple little tie-ups of the loose ends, and then we'll start putting this puppy together. So thanks a lot for joining me on this journey of this muscle car. I'm telling you what, it's been a blast. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you back in the next video.